Happy post-Easter. Good Monday morning, I should say. Well, it's not quite afternoon yet. I hope you all had a lovely Easter. It was a beautiful day here. Beautiful weather. Let's get you guys up so I can see what y'all are. Who's joining me today? So I kind of tricked y'all. I mentioned lasagna. We're stacking lasagna. But I didn't mention that it's going to be a healthy version. So if you'll look in the files, if you haven't, if you've been with me for a bit and you haven't perused the files yet, I encourage you to do so. There's lots of good recipes in the files, lots of meal prep ideas. There's a lot of workshop, several bulk batch cooking ideas and recipes in the files. If you go up to the top of the group, scroll over if you're on your phone. I don't think it shows you immediately, but if you'll scroll over where it says discussion and photos, it'll say files. So click on that. Good morning, Carly. Good to see you watching this morning. We're making lasagna. So if you'll check there, I think my recipe for lasagna is in there, and it makes like five lasagnas at one time, and you can just stack them up and stick them in the freezer or bake them. Entirely up to you. But anyway, this morning I'm using ground pork. I have about 1.5 pounds here, and I'm just using pork because that's what I had on hand. I thought I had some ground chuck, didn't have any. So here we have the ground chuck already cooked. Ground pork already cooked, and I chopped up one shallot. It was a pretty good sized shallot, so a small onion would be equivalent to a small onion. And I'm going to add some chili ready diced tomatoes just because that's what I had on hand. I would use crushed tomatoes or maybe a spaghetti sauce. This is absolutely, everything I'm doing today is absolutely fly by the seat of my pants. This is another reason why I've always called this the test kitchen, because I didn't want to go to the store today. So I mentioned this is going to be a healthy lasagna, which means even though I do have some lasagna noodles up here, I'm going to use zucchini. I know y'all have heard of that. I know you've heard of using sliced zucchini for your noodles, but you could also use eggplant. So it's kind of like eggplant parmigiana. You could use I've used sliced yellow squash before. That's really good. So I'm just mixing that up. A little quick mix. Now for my cheese layer, I had just a little bit of ricotta left, and I have equal parts, probably about 1/4 cup. Equal parts ricotta and cream cheese. I like to put cream cheese in my lasagna. I don't care for cottage cheese in my lasagna, but some people use that. So I have that mixed up along with probably 1/2 cup of mozzarella. And then I also have probably 1 cup of shredded Parmesan here. So now all to do is layer. Good morning, Sharon. Did you have a good Easter? So let me get my zucchini sliced up because I want them to be all equal sizes. Move this bowl over. Well, normally when I do lasagna, I'll do several pans at one time and put some of them in the freezer because there's usually a boy that wants to take some back. We're going through that adjustment stage again. Dawson is here. He's going to Lamar, so he's eating here. I don't have to batch cook for a child away at college. And because Dalton's job includes per diem, he eats there on the dredge, or they take care of him. So perfect little slices of zucchini. I'll get these ready. And I'm using my 2-quart cast iron here, and it's really probably not going to fill it, but I made a yummy walnut cobbler yesterday. I'm gonna share that recipe with y'all. I put that in the 1 quart pan, cast iron, oh, enamel cast iron. It was so good. It was very similar to, well, it was actually supposed to be a pecan cobbler, but I didn't have pecans on hand. So we had walnut and it was yummy. I think I prefer walnuts over pecans. One more. Slice right down. This would be the most difficult one. All right, I'm gonna pull these back out. So these are all the same thickness, and these are gonna be my lasagna noodles. Get this out of the way. Okay, I always put a little bit of sauce in the bottom because we're not using sauce today. I'm just using this meat mixture. Let's jazz it up a little bit. It's got to be Italian, so let's put a tablespoon of Italian seasoning into it. This is the new seasoning from Pampered Chef called Everything But the Pizza. It's got kind of a tomato base to it. It's got lots of yummy, let's see, tomato powder, onion, garlic, paprika, Parmesan cheese. Contains milk. There you go. Literally everything but the pizza, I guess. There's a couple of words in there I can't describe as well. Can't pronounce. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of sweet basil. Get this mixed around. So now that the boys, you know, are big and no grandchildren yet, we don't really have the Easter egg hunt or anything like that. So just a quiet Easter here at home. My dad came and ate with us. It was yummy. Just had beef tips. And rode back in the hunting club behind our house. And I'm using this Italian tomato paste. I'm gonna put a couple of tablespoons. So because I don't have any tomato sauce on hand, I'm gonna add the tomato paste. I'm not gonna try to eyeball that. Use my little measuring apparatus here. Oh, I haven't opened this one yet. I know I've mentioned this to you before. I love this little container because I very seldom use a whole can of paste at the same time. Sauce, absolutely, but not the paste, tomato paste. It's so concentrated. So I love buying this tube, and you can just squeeze out however much you need, keep it in the fridge, and this will last. I don't know, I've never really tried to pay any attention as to how much it saves you, but I'm sure it saves me a few pennies along the way. So I use tomato paste when I'm making chili, batch cooking chili. But usually you only need a tablespoon here or there. Okay, so here's our meat mixture. And I'm just gonna put probably a third of this. And like I say, I got about a pound and a half, 2 10-ounce packages is what it was, ground pork, just plain ground pork. So if you wanted to use ground chuck, I would use a pound and a half ground chuck. You could use ground turkey. That's more than a third, so maybe I'll do half and half. It smells good already. And then over with my zucchini, my green pasta. Now I'm going to be posting this also on a fundraiser party. So if you're watching me from that and you're not in my meal prep group, please join it. Or you might be watching me on YouTube. I'd love for you to subscribe and like, or join my Facebook meal prep group. I'm going to come over here and grab the salt and pepper. And I'm going to cover this with the cheesy layer. Now, you know it's hard to spread that stuff, so it's just easier to scoop it out and plop it down. Now, if I were using the lasagna noodles, the pasta, you could kind of spread that out with the next layer of pasta noodles. It's kind of easier to spread, but the zucchini's not, and you know, it's kind of pliable. So the scoop comes in handy. I usually, even on the lasagna though, I'll use the large scoop to get it out, kind of evenly distributed. I've got the mozzarella on one side, not mixed in with the ricotta and cream cheese. Some of it is, and some of it I'm going to use to sprinkle on top. Kind of was just cleaning out my fridge, to be honest with you. Pulled together some ingredients. Said, hey, those kind of look like lasagna. That's what we'll have. And like I talked to you about last week, I make my list after I've used everything in the fridge. Try not to have any waste. Lord knows we have enough waste going on across the world, huh? Okay. And now I also found just the bottom of a jar of roasted red peppers, so I thought those would complement well. I'm just going to sprinkle these across the top. Sprinkle as best you can roasted red peppers. And this is just jarred roasted red peppers, if that's something you like. I wouldn't buy it special, but if you had them on hand, this is kind of something that I do keep on hand. Adds a little extra pop. A sprinkle of Parmesan. I'm just working my layers. Saving about half the parm back for the top layer. And then on goes the rest of my meat mixture. I'm going to cover this over with foil and cook it at 375. It's not going to take as long as a regular lasagna will because, of course, the noodles... Hey, Candace! The noodles will... or the zucchini will cook quicker than the noodles will. Spread this out. I think Candace helped me stack some lasagnas one time, didn't you? A lot of lasagnas. So we're going to smear these around. Kind of smush down that cheese layer. Now because that zucchini is wet, it's going to kind of make that bottom layer a little more wet than a normal lasagna would be, which is why I didn't make my sauce very saucy. That's why it's kind of a more clumpy, drier sauce. Now, with the rest of these, because I don't have enough to make a full layer of zucchini, I'm just gonna kind of slice these up and sprinkle them over the top. For the top layer, along with some garlic, of course. It's, you know, it's an Italian dish, gotta have the garlic. I actually forgot to put it in my meat when I was cooking the meat. Yeah. was pre-cash, right, Ken? He would be all up in it right now, huh? All right. Just gonna sprinkle it over, just like a topping. Put it to the side here. And this will be enough for lunch, supper. We could do just a side salad, corn. I don't know why, corn just goes with lasagna to us, to me. And then I'm gonna do the rest of this mozzarella, the rest of the Parma. Let's get these garlic done. Coffee break. You know, I talk to y'all about Taste Buds all the time. I read that they're on sale again this month for 20% off. So if you haven't jumped on the Taste Buds bandwagon, that's where you get 3 of our rubs each month, along with 3 corresponding recipes and several other ideas on how to use the difference, because each one makes more than one recipe. So 20% off, it's sold as a subscription. And let's see, you could go month to month. I think it's 20% off of that. What is that? 20, a little less than 20. Or you can get a 3-month subscription or a 6-month subscription. And of course, the more you get, the less you pay. Let me know if you're interested in that. Definitely get it this month and get the deal. So no. We all get in that rut where we feel like we're cooking the same thing over and over again. I know Candace does because she asks all the time, what are we gonna make for supper? She has to deal with some picky eaters though. How about y'all? Some picky eaters at home? Pretty lucky with that. I'm pretty much put anything, eat anything I put in front of them. Pretty sure that was a spam call. I hope that didn't just cut out. Probably calling to tell me that my Social Security card is about to be disabled or some craziness like that. Y'all getting those crazy calls? Okay, garlic over the top. And now for that. Let's do the mozzarella first. And then the Parmesan. All the cheesy. Teresa, I know when you watch this, you're gonna be going, oh my word, that's so much cheese. Gosh, we are cheese eaters here. That's cheese. It's calcium, our body needs it, right? That looks good. All right, so there we have it. Good for you lasagna, right? I'm gonna stick it in the oven, like I said, 375, probably about 30 minutes, but I'm gonna check on it at 25. Covered, I'm gonna cover it with aluminum foil. And I'll snap a picture so you guys can see it when I'm done. And I'll be sure and write the recipe at the top, and be sure to look in the files and get the recipe for the real lasagna. Y'all have a great day.